Good evening. It's Monday, February 10th, 2025. Welcome to this very super special episode of the Northeast Philly podcast. The guys are just sliding down from the grease bowls of Frankfurt and Cottman to discuss the Birds' big game, Super Bowl LIX, or 59 for your non-Roman numeral people out there. We planted a seed and we got a Lombardi trophy. Let's go, Birds. Fellas, how you feeling?
Doing very well. Great intro. Good intro for a very sweet day. It's kind of funny that I remember it was 2 years ago in my living room. We watched it. We were watching us. We were creaming the Chiefs, and then halftime rolls around, and the whole mood changed, and it was just so somber. The third quarter this year. It was the most jovial thing in the world, right? Everybody was like, it kind of became like, let them score 3 touchdowns. It doesn't matter. Did you see that coming, boys?
I gotta say, I don't know if I necessarily saw it coming as in a big win like that, by how much and how dominant they looked. But I saw the win coming, and it just felt different. I thought it was going to be a close game. I thought it was going to be a battle, but just because Mahomes knows how to win, that's just what he does. And it's just the way we took him apart. It's the way they took apart Tom Brady. It's like when you have good D coordinators, they have time to analyze these guys and look at what they got and look at their defense and go, let's go. We got this. And here's how we're going to do it.
Cause how's your heart doing, bro? Have you been able to kind of like slim it down a little bit here in terms of like where you were at? And I know when you get anxious, but I've known you for long enough now that there's just your nerves are rattled. You do this jittery thing with your hands, and you were pretty messed up yesterday. How you feeling?
Let's talk about how ridiculous this is. That was ridiculous. Like, there's no reason I should have been jumping. Not only did I jump like that, I didn't tear an ACL.
That's the impressive part.
Right. I've seen you break your leg doing the footloose dance. So that the fact that you were able to do that with quite ease. And that's not like a guys. I just want you guys. That's not like a euphemism. That's not like an inside joke. My man did the footloose dance at a wedding, his sister's wedding, I think to be exact, and broke his leg, his foot.
Rebroke it.
Listen, dude, stop it. You were dancing, you broke your foot. So I think my point stands here that yes, you should not have been doing that. I was directly below you, like exactly where I'm sitting right now.
Did you hear me?
Dude, at some point I thought the ceiling was going to cave in. It was me and the boys down here watching the game, and we were all like, "What the hell?" I was like, "I think that's your uncle." Honestly, I think that's your uncle, or someone just got murdered upstairs. Either way, I don't think I'm going to go look because I'm watching the Super Bowl and I just watched a great play.
You know what? Like, so again, Eagles were up 24-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
We've seen the comeback of 28-3 with Brady. And I was confident, but I wasn't like, I think when it was like 34-0, I was like, oh shit. Like,
that 24-0 was like a big moment where and I think that was a huge moment for the pick six solely because there was still no answer even after that. Right.
So they had 23 yards. We had 24 points at the end of the first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want anyone to get any aspersions that this was a close game. I don't want anyone to think that those 20 plus some points that they put up on the board was something of
second team.
Was of right. It was the practice. There were guys I was like, I've never heard of that guy's name before in my life. I don't know who that corner is. I didn't even know that dude was a corner in the NFL. Right. So like there was a second team, and like sure, if that's what Mahomes needed to feel good, and he was like trying, like I get it, you can't give up in the Super Bowl. Nobody can give up in the Super Bowl. I don't care how bad it looks. There's no such thing as like just burning out the clock and then just going home. You play like you are supposed to play till the very end.
How disrespectful and how Philadelphian of Nick Sirianni.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Second string defense in there and say, Pat Mahomes, you're still not gonna get enough against us. Like he knew it. He knew even those second stringers were so hungry that they're gonna give up some points, but you're not gonna get enough.
This Super Bowl reminded me of the Manning slapping from
40 to 8.
Seattle.
Yeah, 40 to 8.
Yeah, Seattle. Yeah, it's just I don't think there was. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that was that bad?
In the 80s and 90s, the Broncos got blown out by Washington, and Jeremy's beloved Charger of the San Diego days got blown out.
Let's talk modern era. So modern era is anything 2000 and up.
Is it? Wouldn't the 90s be considered modern era?
Being there.
So then if that's the case, it would be Chargers, 49ers. I think, what was it? He had 5 touchdowns, JB?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Okay, so that might be like the but you don't expect it this day and age, right? You're at the Super Bowl. It's Pat Mahomes. He's going for a 3-peat. You don't expect him to be complete. He looked terrible out there. And I think that goes to speak for Spags not trying to like adapt whatsoever. I don't think he tried to. Did you see any other than going to like, quick, fast passes? Other than that, I didn't see any type of adapting to the Eagles, and they weren't blitzing, so it's not like that, right? It was just bad. It was just blown.
Even when they went to the quick passes, it was like 2-3 plays, maybe a full series. And then it was right back to whatever they were doing, and then we were stopping them again.
Were they 0-8 before they got their first third down?
Dude, I don't even know.
Their first down came like 4th series, I think.
Hey, Cheryl, we love the Eagles too.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us, Cheryl. If you want, please, guys, if you're joining us, we have a ton of people on. If you're tuning in, just throw in the chat your favorite moment from last night, or just what the season meant to you, or just even your highlight from the actual season. For me, I think it still strictly boils down to me the season, and maybe we'll do that a little bit, but we'll get your favorite season moment down to it. What really helped you define exactly what made this season special for you? How did you know it was different? When did you know it was different? Because let's be honest, it did start very similar to last year. Great record, looking good. Now the big difference is they were coming alive in the second half last year and squeaking out wins. The wins weren't pure last year. The wins this year were just like mud stompings from week in and week out. And some of them looked closer because of I think it took a little while for Fangio to realize prevent defense is not the way, and we should obviously avoid that at all costs, and he tightened that ship up, which is great. But we'll get into a little bit what that seasonal moment meant for you. Fuzz, you still haven't answered. How's the heart?
The heart's fine. I think we got home at like 12:45. Went to bed. Obviously still had. We were down in Frankfurt and Cottman. And like I think our mayor just needs to shut her mouth. It's not even just her. Just no. I'm just saying, like, just shut your mouth in general, because like she's like, don't climb the poles, like don't climb the light poles. So what did the fans say? Said, all right, well, we'll fucking take them. Like they ripped poles, light poles out of the ground.
I get it. I know what you mean by that. By her, she don't tell them to do one thing because they're going to do something a million times worse.
Because they're
that-
children.
Yes, that I don't blame this on the mayor. She
Oh no! I don't blame it on the mayor. Like we talked about it today at work. Like,
she jinxed it for sure. Yes.
Yes, like we talked about it at work. Listen, I'm 47 years old. Like when they won in 08, it was like when I really partied. JB, you were not a Phillies fan at the time. You had Chase. You took him down. He was still 11 months old, and I stayed out. I drank and did that. 2017, all our kids were a little older. Except the little ones who were like 3, 4, and 5.
Two.
Now
1,
2, 3, and 4. All right, so it's 1,
1, 2,
No.
and 3.
Oh, okay, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it tells you how much I pay attention. 1, 2, and 3. So it was like, we went to Frankfurt and Cotman, and everything is like, for me, it was go out there, spend 30 to 40 minutes, and then it's a wrap. Like there's no more like I'm not there. Like I'm there to celebrate. But other than that, I'm cool. I did my thing. I went to Frankfurt and Cotman, and I rolled, as did everyone else. Like I think you got down there, then you left. Then the kids left. Then I left. And then
I will always leave early. That is just my.
That's who you are.
Right.
You do the.
I
you
did
do
my 15, maybe 20 minutes. Top.
You did your Irish goodbye as a Jewish person, which is phenomenal.
Later. And I don't care. I just walk back, and and here's the funny thing. The boy 2, actually like 5 minutes later was like, Mom, can we go home now? And she's like, well, why didn't you go home with your dad? Like, he's like, I didn't even know he left. Like, no, I clearly said, dude, I'm going home. If you all want to come with me now. And they're like, no, just go.
And then he left, and then I was right behind him.
Yeah.
The fact that Keith is still on the podcast at 15 minutes in is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is past way. I actually went upstairs. I started lying down. It's like, oh, what am I doing here? Eric, yes. Coops pick 6. Now, did anyone now, Eric, just to follow up on this with this one, his pick 6. I know it was already 17-0 when he runs that back in, and now we go up 20. But at any point from
no. His pick 6 made it 17-0.
I'm sorry, correct.
Yeah.
His pick 6 made 17-0. At that point, what did you think right then and there? The bomb to Devontae Smith gave it 24-0, right? That everyone
that made it 34-0. Zach Bowen intercepted the pass on the ensuing drive.
Oh, right, and that was the
AJ Brown that they were at like the 12 or 13.
Yeah, the left hand side, right? It was kind of like almost like a skip step into the pylons, right?
Yeah.
So it still stands. Eric, were you still worried at 17-0? I was going to ask if you were worried at 24-0, which most people should say I don't know, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. But at 17-0, Eric, how are you feeling about this? The flow of the game? Are you still optimistically cautious that it's going your way? Like what? How are you feeling?
I mean, for me, I was obviously I showed the video of me. I was hype. I just Joe Harden. He's a long time Philly podcast guy. He's been following us since we started. And he used to rip me and Eric because, listen, we were not Jalen Hurts guys. We were Carson Wentz guys. And we were backstage before the show started. And I said, I did my apology letter in 2022 to Jalen Hurts. I gave him his flowers as, Nick Sirianni said in 2021. He got his flowers from me in 2022 with an on-air apology. And, as was deserved. And now Jalen Hurts is a champion, and that's nothing anybody can say. I mean, there's still people saying, like today, Greg Jennings said, I don't know if he's in the elite category. I've given up. I've given up on these announcers to the point where I'm just not going to listen to them anymore. Like, legitimately,
if he's elite, he's a champion. He's a winner. Like, he doesn't. But not every guy needs to throw 300, 400 yards in a game with 4 or 5 touchdowns. He does what is needed of him as the quarterback of this team, and that's what you needed.
You're exactly right, and that's kind of like listen, he can no longer be in the Joe Burrow sentence the Josh Allen sentence, the Lamar Jackson sentence. Because guess what? He did something that only him and Tom Brady have did. And they beat Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and in the biggest game of the year. You took a 15-2 team who was really 15-1 when they had their entire team, and you absolutely dog walked all over them. And listen, and I lost my mind on that pass interference call that they called in the first quarter. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of them. And then they called the unnecessary roughness penalty a couple drives later on whoever it was, Nick Bolton. I was like, yeah, that's a penalty. And then I actually went back and watched, and I was like, holy shit, that was a blatant makeup call. Blatant makeup call. And listen, Patrick Mahomes, he didn't. I said on the Philly? I said it yesterday during the game. I said, if you keep him inside the pocket and you hit him, he is not going to do well. And for everybody who said that they are not watching the Super Bowl this year because it's the Chiefs, because it's the Patriots. Somebody watched it because they just announced that they set the viewing record of 126 million people, 126 million viewers. Somebody watched it. Somebody watched it.
Got this one in. My favorite time was when they whipped them so bad that even Pickett got into the game. Like, you're putting your backup quarterback into the game because why not? Isn't right? It's sure. You put the practice squad in. Like, are we not?
But that never happens in the Super Bowl. Do you know what I mean? You never put your backups in.
Right.
Like, even though you're winning by a ton. I thought at one point I was like, we're going to see Carson Wentz. And we saw Carson Wentz. We saw Kenny Pickett take snaps in the Super Bowl before Carson Wentz. That's insane.
I mean, like that's
diabolical.
People have the audacity to not call Jalen Hurts elite, right? And so I think one of the biggest arguments is this, okay? So, like, I understand, and I do understand. Like, let's be honest. It doesn't. I may not be the guy who you're picking first for your team, but I understand the logistics of football. And if you have to take a guy like Saquon Barkley and really double team him, because that's what you got to do, or even triple team him, but let's just say you have to seriously double team him with elite guys, that is so much less attention that you are playing out in your secondary to your up front. And the minute who got injured on KC? Jones, yes.
Chris Jones.
Yeah. Chris Jones, dude, the minute you went out, you just immediately saw the size difference between the Eagles, offensive line and what they were bringing up front for KC defense-wise, right? It just wasn't even comparable in terms of size. And so, like, the mismatches were outrageous alone. And so when you do focus on Saquon, it does open up Devonta. It does open up AJ. It does open up Dallas Goedert. It does open up Jahan Dotson. Like, what are we talking about? Right?
Plus 1,800. Somebody was really rich for like 34 seconds.
$18,000 rich.
And then they weren't.
Right. So like,
still, if you took the over on his yards,
say he's not elite, but when he's playing and he's, first of all, he was threading needles and he was just hitting dots yesterday.
He had one bad throw and it was on a blitz.
One bad throw on a blitz. Yes, you're right. Okay. One bad throw on a blitz for the Super Bowl. Nerves were not even a factor. It was strictly him under pressure and him throwing it. I feel like this conversation, and for someone to, like, Eric, for you to say he doesn't need to be elite, he is elite.
No, I don't think he's saying, oh, wow. I don't think he's not saying, hey, I mean, listen, Eric believed, listen, me and Eric have spoken, we're all in the elite. But I guess to make, like, the Phil, the Orlotskis and the Greg Jennings of the world, like, they're never going to call him elite. It's just not going to have it. That's fucking wild.
11. Jesus. Who the hell did, like,
I mean, so
that's awesome.
what is your? I thought you couldn't even get lower than a 50. To be honest with you, like I thought that
Oh
was.
no, you can no. You can
I didn't
you can
know.
have over.
I'm telling you, I had no idea.
Oh.
Like
It's like one of those things you're like, oh shit, that really happened. That can happen.
right, and it happened in the Super Bowl. So for you guys, JV, let's throw this out to you. The season, where did you start feeling that there was this sense of, oh my goodness, this is really happening. This is like a Super Bowl team.
Um,
You can cheat. You can
I
look at
have
the
to
schedule just to kind of get a sense of that.
I think it was probably in the last quarter of the regular season. You started to feel really how different this team was, and it wasn't just Saquon. Like the beginning of the year, it's like, okay, they're riding Saquon and they're going to take it. Is he going to break down? What's going to happen? You start like you're cautiously going along the ride, and then you get into the third quarter of the season, the regular season, and he's not breaking down. And now they're like, oh, you got to stop Saquon. And Jalen's like, okay, AJ, Devontae, catch this. And they destroy you with the passing game. And then they're like, oh, you got to stop this offense. The defense goes and just punches people in the mouth. And Jalen Carter just became a freaking wrecking ball. The way, and Jordan Davis was right there with him. Like, let's not underplay when BG went down, the way the two of those guys stepped up to really lead that team, and it didn't miss a beat. And guys were plug and play, and you could see that all these other guys, Trotter Jr. was doing well, Hunt was doing it, Ojomo, Williams, these guys are just stepping up and saying, "Let's go, we got this." That to me is when you saw that it was a special team that was going to take them somewhere. And the only thing that was going to stop them was injuries. Thank God they didn't have them.
Fuzz, what was your moment and during the season that you're just like, hey, this is it, this is happening?
Baltimore. Open field tackle of Derrick Henry by Cooper DeJean. I was like, I was told that Vic Fangio couldn't get guys to play for him. Miami players said he's too hard. That's it. That's when I knew this team was legit. Everyone was like, nah. First it was you are, the first you beat the hell out of the Giants, and it was like, all right, well, now they're going to Cincinnati. Now they have to beat, the Bengals, and the Bengals have a great receiver in Jamar Chase, and they have Mike Gesicki, and they have Joe Burrow, and then they dog walk the Bengals. Then it was they beat the Jaguars, but they only beat the Jaguars by 5. Well, we also gifted the Jaguars 7 points because the refs are absolutely atrocious and gave Saquon that fumble. We also had the backwards hurdle. Then they played the Cowboys. They dog walked the Cowboys 34-6. Then they played the Commanders. Then it was Jaden Daniels is this and Jaden Daniels is that. And then they dog walked the count. Then they beat them 26-18. But again, they scored a touchdown with 10 seconds left. So it was 26-18. Then it was like, oh, well, now they play the Rams. Well, maybe the Rams are healthy now. Cooper Kupp's back. Nuka Pachua, whatever his name is, the Hawaiian dude, he's back. They dog walk them, and Saquon Barkley runs for 387,000 yards on Sunday night. And it's like, all right, well, now they face the Ravens. Can they beat the Ravens? And then they absolutely manhandled Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And that's when I was like, this team is good. It's not even so much the team. It's like when I knew the defense was legit, absolutely legit. And when I knew this team wasn't the 2023 team was when 2 weeks later, when they played the Steelers, and that backup tight end did the Michael Orr and blocked Darius Slay into the end zone after the play was over, and he was still talking ish on him, and then Quinyon Mitchell came over and slapped him. Then he was talking trash, and then it was like Jalen Carter came over, and then he was like, "Nope, I'm out." then the tight end, like you brought up Jalen Carter, was like, nah, Jalen Carter, and then Jalen Carter. I've seen him smack 2 people in the head this season and knock them back like 5 yards.
They gave me a concussion.
He got fined on that last one, like 15 grand.
Yeah, he got fined when he hit the Steelers guy. He just smacked out.
And then the Washington game,
and then he just destroyed the center.
Yeah, he got fined. Yeah, he got fined for that one. That was another 15.
Did he get fined? I didn't.
Yeah, he got fined.
But he cracked Tyler Badez, and I was like, he just smacked him with a helmet and knocked him over. Like, didn't like what? Like, you just ooh. And then he was getting into it with Dre Smith last night. Like I said, that was going to be a thing.
Yeah. So, if we're talking moments, I have a specific moment, and I don't care how cliched it is. I think I've said this time and time again. And before I get to mine, Eric is following up. Eric does agree. Hurts is elite. And the big arm is overrated, right? Does the big arm get you into the Super Bowl? Ask Josh Allen. Josh Allen's got a monster arm. And I don't know. There were times last night where he was ripping his arm out, and it looked pretty impressive to me. Like he had a. So it's. I think Jalen
he's not breaking people's fingers.
That's what I exactly. I think he has figured out the timing between finding that one-on-one coverage. So I think he wanted everyone to be open in order for him to throw. And I think he's finding that he's got these guys where one-on-one coverage is good enough, and trust in God, I'm going to get it to them. And I think that's his approach that he took. But I think what made it real for me this season, as opposed to the 2023 season where they fell flat, was November 3rd. Was the Jacksonville Jaguars game, and watching Saquon do a reverse hurdle. Now, it's not that moment in particular that I knew because Saquon could do a reverse hurdle. I don't want anyone to think that, the fact that game, that move was added to Madden after the fact because it was so effing awesome. I never happened in the history of Madden, right? But no, the guy said, you programmers are going to have to go back and figure out how to make plays for Saquon and Saquon only. But that being said, is watching when the team won, lost, and where things got close or frustrating, is they didn't default to the 2023 blame game. Okay. Now, I know there was a dust up that happened where I think that was more of a A.J. Brown being A.J. Brown situation, clearly. And, people not being okay with getting what happened was, he doesn't owe you that. And Jalen doesn't owe you any type of articulated response that you should be okay with. The guy says what he says. They're like, what does it mean to you? He goes, winning means it to me. And if it's a win, loss, or draw, I will come back and learn more. And he just showed you that's what he did. So I think it was that Saquon hurdle and then them running on. If you saw the reactions that they all had from that, it was just a sideline that was in tune with each other. And they knew how to just they were there for the moments and not the statistics. And that's the minute I realized it, I think. And it was going to be a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. Listen, we had this talk Sunday morning, me and 2 other Eagles podcasters, and we're talking about the awards that were given out on Thursday and how the play of the year was a Hail Mary. And, we've seen Hail Marys. Seen them. They're nothing new. I
was doing Hail Marys in Madden 92. It wasn't even called Madden 92. It was just called Madden.
This guy turned around and he jumped over someone ass first, and then was still looking for more because he's looking to see where he can land to keep running.
I'm not going to deny that it was against the Jaguars and they missed 90 tackles on the dude.
It's still athletic,
right? But you guys are in the NFL.
The Olympic chick doesn't even do them backwards. She runs straight forward.
And that was the third. attempted tackle. He dodged one, dodged a second, and the third one he jumped over was still a missed tackle, but it was with a reverse hurdle. So, like, and again, I'm not saying that's how I knew we were winning the Super Bowl. That is a ridiculous notion. You can stop right there. That's not it. It is exactly how the team responded to it in the moment. I realized they were in the moment finally, where last year felt a lot about statistical. And I think Jalen actually did get into that for a brief second and snapped out of it. AJ's about stats, but all wide receivers are about stats. That's how they actually make most of their money.
I don't know if he's necessarily about stats as he is about believing that he is the best and he wants to show the world and all these DBs that keep coming at him. And I listened to a little bit of that book that he was reading on the sideline.
Yeah.
And that's what the guy preaches is you want to show you're the best, but you got to go against the best to do it. Because showing that you're the best against backups isn't doing anything. He has that inner peace. He's like, I need to show you how good I am and how bad I'm just that much better than your best.
Yeah.
Send them my way. I got it. Give me the ball.
Okay.
And a little Chad Ochocinco of them, but
I was going to say a little TO-ish, but TO-ish would be maybe more stat-ish and also egotism. But
Deshaun Johnson.
Yeah, I was going to say fancier than TO. He's not wiping his ass on the star, even though he should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll stick up for T.O. a little bit because T.O. wanted to do nothing but win. And let's be realistic. The guy was a competitor. Was he a diva? Yeah, but he wanted to win. You know, and if
I loved every second of them.
If social media was as strong as it is now as when T.O. played, he might have been out of the league earlier than because just the way the league is. But I don't think wide receivers. Everyone says wide receivers are this, and I got into a huge debate on social media earlier this season where I was arguing.
Not you.
It was a friendly debate. It was saying that he's a diva, he's this, he's that. He's not a diva. The guy just wants to win. He wants to contribute to the team, and we are. Our fan base didn't even fall for. Our fan base didn't fall for when he sat there and said the passing game needs to help. It was what he said. It was taken out of context, and then the Philly sports media ran with it, and then the Philly sports media got called out by everybody, and then was like, they were not on my bingo card for the Philly sports media to play victim to that, and they did, and that's
all they do.
No, but I'm saying is but when they got called out on it, then they were like, oh well, what did we do? And then everyone was like, you did this, 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 and you did that. And they were like, well, what else did we do? There's nothing more. Like, you guys played victim, got called out on all of them, got called out on your nonsense, and then after the Steelers game, Jalen called you out, and then you just got mad because Jalen called you out. Now,
show some emotion, Jalen. Show some emotion. Oh wait, you're attacking us. Never mind. Don't talk.
Right. Yeah. This is important. We got to get this. JV, why are you so quiet? We got to get you talking, big boy.
Yeah.
And then another thing is like last night, like I kind of like I'm kind of like how Jalen is. Like, you don't know how to, like, you win and you don't, like, if you're not an emotional guy, like, you just go out and you play the game you love and this and that, you just like that. There was 3 minutes left and I was like, they're up 40-14 and I don't know how to act
because you're not used to it. I said this to Sandy earlier, like, and 7 years ago, that was a different time because it had never happened to Eagles fans. And guys that like you that I know that truly bleed green, like you were in shock that it happened. Like when that game was ending, I looked at your face and you didn't know how to act then. And now you're like, wait, it just happened a second time? What do we do now? Like this is not Eagles sports. This is not Philadelphia sports. We don't win like this.
No.
If we win, they're far between, like 20 something years, like the Phillies, like they're 20, 30 years, whatever it was for the Phillies between their World Series wins. Like we're not supposed to win in less than a decade. And like it's new and you don't know what to do. And like you said, Jalen's not an emotional guy. He doesn't know how to process it. It's just never been his game.
No offense, and this is not to take anything away from Jalen. Jalen doesn't need to be emotional. He doesn't need to show anyone emotion. It's his job. He's going in there. He doesn't need to be blubbering. He doesn't need to be crying at the national anthem. If you do cry at the national anthem, that's for you, right? Like, yeah. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to, but also if he's not, he doesn't have to be either. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, like, he's almost vilified for whatever. And I kind of get like, what more do you now want from him, right? He's already done more than what McNabb has done in a shorter amount of time, right? And so, like, you want to crucify McNabb for his later comments in his career? Sure, I get it. Why are you crucifying Jalen as he's getting you like these accolades and these championships? It's kind of a disgusting conversation. Now, it's a disgusting conversation from Philadelphia fans. I kind of expect it from the national media who wants to rile up the feathers and say he's not elite. I get it, but like you can say he's not elite by pointing at he has weapons that you consider elite, so therefore Jalen's not elite. But it's not like the ball magically teleports to their hands.
True.
Like Jalen's still facing high caliber teams rushing at him. They're acting like he's got it's like flag football and there's no rusher and he's got all day to get it to these elite guys who have to scramble so hard to get open. And yes, they do, but you're acting like Jalen's not a part of the equation. It's just a really bad argument, and you're not either being serious or you don't know enough about football to understand what's happening at two different times at the two different locations at the same time in the game. I don't know. I feel like that you just learned that in Algebra 1 in 9th grade that, time is, a variable of distance and there could be two separate points if there's, I don't know. What do we, do I have to re-explain this to some of these really basic commentators, or is it just because, as Fuzzy said, they're just trying to go for virtual clicks or aggro? I don't know. JV, are they going for aggro, or do you think they have a point that he should be doing this well because he has this many weapons?
I think they don't know what to do because he's winning and he's not your stereotypical quarterback. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not throwing 300-400 yards every game, 5 touchdowns through the air. And that's what they expect quarterbacks to do. I think the league in general has not gotten used to guys like him. It took a little while for them to appreciate a guy like Tom Brady. Brady wasn't a gunslinger like Brett Favre and throwing it down the field. He took care of the ball. He had short passes. Belichick made a great program for him to grow in and become who Tom Brady is. Tom Brady was a very smart guy on the football field, terrible in the booth. Smart guy on the field, and he learned how to utilize the weapons around him, and Jalen is doing that. Jalen is learning how to utilize the guys around him, but he doesn't need to be a 300-yard guy. And the national media just doesn't understand how a guy can win like that. How do you win like that? It's like a knuckleballer. How does a knuckleballer keep winning? Because they do something different that nobody else is doing.
That's my question. What is it? So, Chris, I'm gonna punt this one to you. What does it boil down to? Right? You can't you could call it the race card, right? But people you got Mahomes there. You've got people like
Lamar,
Lamar sitting right there,
Jalen
who are
Daniels.
considered darlings, right? So like, is it because he's kind of got like maybe a little bit of like, and it's okay. I kind of like he got a little bit of Marshawn to him sometimes, right? When it comes to the press.
I'll tell you what it is. It's 2 words. 4 words. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say recount because I know you can't count. So just try make sure it's 4 this time. Just do the finger trick. Remember how I showed you counting on the finger? Do that.
Yeah, you can't see me. It's the 4 horsemen.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Eagles starting quarterback. That's all it is. That's all it is. If he played for any other team, they'd be glazing all over him. Because it's easy to hate Philadelphia. And you know what happens? You know what happens when you sit there and you disrespect the coach and you disrespect because everyone loves Howie Roseman, but
You pump them up.
You disrespect the
you
coach.
fuel them, right? You're giving them fuel.
You disrespect Jalen Hurts. You know what you get? This is what you get. Look at this clip. This is what you. That's what you get. You get a coach who now, the fans love this dude. This dude is on. He's not there yet. Like if he could take us to the promised land, again in 5 years, like, and he wins, like if he stays here another 5 years, and just say he wins a second Super Bowl title, he's in the Jason Kelsey era.
Ooh. Wow.
So you're saying he needs to go?
Listen, it's
2-1 in the Super Bowl appearances to get to that. I think getting there in 4 years, 5 years, twice.
No, but I'm saying like the love
for a quarterback, for a coach that nobody knew, nobody wanted coming into this.
No, and yeah, I get that, and people love Doug Peterson, but he's not, for me. I know he brought the first title. He's not on the same level as Nick Sirianni. He's just not. I think Nick Sirianni is head and shoulders a better coach than him, and like we all love Doug, but we love Nick too. We love Nick a little bit more now. Like it was there, and he just needed to win. And I think if he takes him to another title in a couple of years, I'm not going to sit there and say they're going back to back because that's retarded.
Well, what if Doug gets another ring with another team?
He's got to sign first.
I get it. I get it. Like, let's say he gets a coordinator position, because that's a very real possibility for him.
So here's the thing. I will always have love for Doug Peterson. I always will.
You should.
That team was a team of destiny. That team yesterday was the best team in football. And I know they're one and the same because they both won the Super Bowl. But if that team played that team in Madden, 2017 is losing by 3 touchdowns. They're gonna look like Patrick Mahomes did. Patrick Mahomes got, excuse my French, he got fucking smacked. He didn't know what hit him. Listen, there were a couple times he got up and he was like, somebody throw a flag. like that, first off,
I could have oh no, hold on. There was, I think at one time, if you could read faces and expressions, I believe he looked over at the refs at one point and he says, "What am I paying you for?"
Like number 90 for the Chiefs lined up in the neutral zone every goddamn play. And then number 74, I think his name's Jawan Taylor. He committed 3 penalties on one play. One play. He committed holding, then a pass or not, and then unnecessary roughness because he grabbed him by the face mask, and then he committed another holding penalty.
I was gonna say he went off of one guy and went and held another.
And then just grabbed him by the face mask.
90 was the most egregious. Was off.
Yeah.
He was in the lined up in the neutral zone behind the ball several times. They called him one time on it. He should have been called about it 9 times on it. But okay, if you're gonna let him play and that's a minor, okay, great. But I think the mood of the game really
74 is like I came in with this. This is mine. He's like, this is mine. This is a
cameras. I came
What
in.
are you
like
talking about? This is my helmet.
I think one of starting earlier in the game, one of the when that first call, when that first pass and a PI call came in on the Eagles' first drive,
You thought it was over.
that was the turning point when you heard the boos, and then when they played it on replay again, I think the officiating team either got word, they had to have. Like they're in constant contact. They are getting earpieced in from New York at all time. They are. They said, "Don't fucking do that again."
They definitely did. They were definitely like, "You got to come up with something," and they called that B. And listen, I'm gonna sit there. At first, I saw it, and then I was like, "Oh no, that was like so like a couple
as clean as the one that they called on us."
Right, and I was like, "Okay, so that's bad." And then I also thought it was terrible when I watched it, but after I rewatched it today, I ain't gonna lie, I actually liked the halftime show. I was against it when I first watched it because
it was amazingly good for how simple it was in its execution.
I don't know Kendrick Lamar like that.
But it was pretty elaborate if you like watch and go through it.
Like he was, like the Duke had put on a show. He was dancing. He's got the moves. He didn't trip over his bell bottoms. And
the one thing I think that really tied it all together for me, like, because I missed a lot of it, but the thing that helped a lot was actually Samuel L. Jackson being like the Uncle Sam narrator to it.
That was not in my bingo card either.
Because honestly, I felt like he was playing like the Steven character from Django type.
That's exactly what it was. That was what it was supposed to be.
Okay, so that's what it was. Is that what it was?
Yes.
It was supposed to be like his.
Yeah,
he was like, okay. It was really well. First of all, only someone like Samuel L. Jackson could play that character in a movie. Have you seen Django? It's probably one of my top 5. Like it's up there with Shawshank type movies. If it's on,
I have to watch it from beginning to end. But
here's the problem. There's also Shawshank has no rough parts to even watch. Even when our boy gets snipered out in the yard, you're like, yeah, I know it's coming. I'm gonna watch it. There are scenes in Django where you know what's gonna come. And you try to turn away, but you still gotta watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching the thing last night, and I'm like, I know that girl from somewhere. Like, why do I know that girl? Like
Serena?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheryl did it like
it was so quick. I didn't catch
it. Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not for everyone, Cheryl, and that's fine. And like you said, my kids kind of had to, explain it to me. My son's in love with Saza or whatever her name is. SZA, whatever. Listen, I thought we were going to Sizzler after, Wesley Snipes going to Sizzler. But yeah, that's what I thought it was. But like
my knowledge of today's rap is so limited and like garbage. I have to say, like, it sounded like the same song, the same beat, the same music the whole time. I'm like, how did and that people are changing it. Oh, that's this song. I'm like, how do you hear a difference in it? Like, I don't hear the difference in the songs. Maybe it's
I have the GNX.
Albums are different.
Well, I've got the GNX album, so yeah. Like, I mean, I loved his album. Like, first of all, like the things that I was watching. Do you guys watched him murder Drake on TV? I don't know if you even caught any of it as it was happening, but he got 45,000 people to call Drake basically on national TV
a
pedo. Basically, like that's what he said. He got 45,000 people to scream A minor
while his ex was on stage with him.
Yeah,
which is phenomenal. Like
Yeah.
that is kind of like when I went back, like when it was like explaining the thing, and I was like, okay, and then I went back and I watched it, and I was like, all right, this isn't so
It was
bad.
like
And
a
then,
breakdown. I didn't really get to watch anything today. I didn't get to rewatch any of the commercials that I normally do. I just got home and I was just like, whatever. But was there like a whole breakdown of the halftime show? I'm sure there was shit I missed, right?
Oh yeah,
Clearly.
well, I haven't seen like a video, any video breakdowns of it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of
Hey,
people that put up posts
hey,
about
hey,
what
hey,
each thing
there you
means
go.
symbolically in it.
I got it right here.
So,
What do you got?
Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam playing the house slave role just like Django in Chains.
Yep.
A warning to Kendrick. Jackson telling him to play the game white America expects. The Squid Game stage symbolizing the rich exploiting the poor. Which, watching the game, I was watching the halftime show. I was like, kind of reminded me of Squid Games. I've never seen it.
The X thing I did, but like I
Yeah.
thought like the one was like a jail, like it was like supposed to be jail, like a jail like courtyard.
Yeah. And then the red, white, and blue dancers representing the American flag, which is fine. Yep. The prison yard stage, a reminder of mass incarnation.
Incarnation?
As incarceration. As black performers harmonize. Protecting black women, a nod to Serena Williams after Drake's disrespect. Carmen never misses. They not like us. A message to Drake and America. Our culture is real.
The song is a diss track to Drake, so it's okay.
Yeah. A call to action. The world is in crisis. Turn off the TV, organize, and unite. And then game over, need audience. A bold statement demanding change. So
that was really good too.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I had to watch it. Again, and listen. Not every halftime show. Like, do you think our kids liked Dre and Eminem and Fat 50 Cent, who was 75 cent hanging up upside down?
My boy did.
I mean, I don't know.
The thing, like, you got to. I have a view of the halftime show should be entertainment to me, and I didn't find it. Kendrick Lamar is that entertaining because I didn't know all that stuff going into it. I have to think about it. I had to look it up afterwards. Like, and it doesn't matter who the artist is, whoever is out there. I just want you to because the Super Bowl is about entertainment as well. Everything around it is entertainment. The NFL is an entertainment. I just wanted to be entertained. I didn't necessarily want the social and political aspects to it. Not that he's wrong for doing it and having those opinions and having his platform to stand on. I just felt like Super Bowl, just put on a show, and be entertaining, and then you can go to other platforms and do your statements. And I get it, and that's fine. And I'm okay with
just to flip that. Just to flip that on you, like Kendrick Lamar is pop for today. He's not pop for you. Like it's just the way it is. Like right, like Prince is not pop for everyone, but pop for most, and he put on a hell of a show. But there were kids who are absolutely bored with Prince, right?
Oh, great.
So like I want to say like the NFL does this in waves, and it's really smart. They go from being relevance and bringing back and forth. They have done country. They have done, Rihanna. They have done, right? So, like, they have been all over the map. Tom Petty, your Aerosmith, your, like I said, or as Fuzzy said, the old school, like your 90s hip hop and rap.
Listen. Things I didn't know. I was today's years old. That Kendrick Lamar won a Pulitzer Prize.
I'm not saying the dude's not talented and doesn't have anything.
No.
He's got a platform to stand to promote, and I get that. It was just, to me, it was just the Super Bowl was just put on a show.
Wait a minute. So I gotta ask, who is Cheryl, and how does she know we call you JV?
I've called him JV several times.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right.
I have no idea who she is, but.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you knew her, but I love the fact that she's calling you JV.
Because that's his name, JV.
Right.
And she said she couldn't understand. Yeah, like let me tell you again, and I'm again JV. I'm agreeing with you. Like he is, he's pop, but not for you guys. He's really
Right.
not.
Right. And again, there was someone who put out a post that says, it's not about you. Like if you don't like them, then turn it off. You don't like it, turn it off.
Right.
But
Let's go back. Let's
right.
go back
But
and take a
don't
look
get
at
mad at me too for having an opinion
Super
about it.
Bowl. No.
Yeah.
But we're
Not
gonna
you
go.
guys, but I'm just saying in general. Like,
Let's close off because we do this almost every show. Our show is more about drafts and rating, and we just wanted to get on and talk about the Super Bowl. But let's go ahead and talk about the halftime shows for each Super Bowl over the last. We're not going to do all 59. I'll just try and go into some of the, like, because the first one were like the University of Arizona Symphonic Marching Band, Grambling State University Marching Band, Anaheim High School. That was Super Bowl one. So they had some.
I remember that. They were pretty good.
Yeah, they really banged it out in '67. So like they started getting like some real big names in Super Bowl IV. Believe it or not, they had Margaret Piazza, Doc Severinsen. Wasn't Doc Severinsen one of the late night band guys?
I thought that was Dr. Stuffins, but go ahead.
No, I'm almost sure Doc Severinsen. I'm dead serious. Was he worked on like the Late Show with Johnny Carson. I whatever. So Doc Severinsen was on. So hold on. Let's Ella Fitzgerald. Holy shit! I didn't even know she did Mac the Knife in Super Bowl VI. All right, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So Doc Severinsen was on with Johnny Carson.
Yeah, okay. All right. So let's look at when we start what Super Bowl we start getting some really, like, because we have the Mickey Mouse Club theme being done in Super Bowl 11 here. It was done by Walt Disney Company. The theme was "It's a Small World." So let's try to be serious here. A lot of Al Hurt. A lot of weird salute tos, Mardi Gras festivals. Salute to Motown. But a lot of medley stuff. I don't see any big performers. No big performers. George Burns, Mickey Rooney, did Super Bowl 21 in '87. What?
A comedy show?
Chubby Checker, did in 22. The Rockettes showed up in Super Bowl 22 in '88. So we're alive. So we don't. Elvis Presto.
Is that like one
Okay.
of those mock bands?
Do you guys want to know who probably the biggest first band to do the Super Bowl? Don't look it up. I got it here. I looked it up. I did not know that 1991. What was
New Kids on the Block?
New Kids on the Block.
Wow.
New Kids on the Block. So we finally get into the era
and I think that was a Disney theme. Maybe not.
It was a Disney theme. It was the repeat of the Small World tribute from 25 years to Super Bowl. So then we start going. So in the next year, so we've got that was in Super Bowl 25, Super Bowl 26. We got Gloria Estefan. We got Brian Boitano, Dorothy Hamill. It's a whole skating affair.
What Boitano do if he was here today?
93, the biggest one to ever perform, I would consider at this point.
Diana Ross.
Michael Jackson.
Oh, okay. I think Michael. I think
himself.
Diana Ross.
By himself.
Ross was a couple years later.
I remember this one very clearly. This is your country. Clint Black, Tanya Tucker, Travis Tritt, the Judds.
It's an old country. Well, I guess in the early '90s, not
94
really
was an old country.
Yeah,
they were the stars. We got in let's see, what do we got here? Super Bowl 29, Patti LaBelle. Indiana Jones showed up. He was a part of the halftime show. And Miami Sound Machine. So you had but you actually have Patti LaBelle and Tony Bennett doing "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?"
I guess so. It makes sense.
Disney.
If the scene, if it was 1995, Lion King came out in 1994.
Yeah. Yeah, but Patti LaBelle was pretty much,
I'm
and then
guessing this is when ABC had the game.
that
Probably.
that would have,
Probably.
yeah, ABC. Well, that was
Yeah.
Walt Disney Company, so yeah, that was
Right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
that was a big tie over. That was the big tie-in was Indiana Jones and the Temple. I remember that. Didn't they have like a big set with a boulder? It was almost very similar to the Holly.
Yeah.
No,
It
the
was like
boulder was
the stunt show.
no, the boulder was just a girl in front of you ordering Taco Bell. Go ahead.
Oh and we got
And this is why I'm on this show, not for my stacks, for my funny quips.
Super Bowl 30.
That was Diana Ross.
That was Diana Ross.
I couldn't tell you who else was in it.
I don't. I think it was just her.
I want to say Super Bowl 30 is what year? 96?
6?
That would be the Cowboys' last appearance in an NFC championship game and a Super Bowl. 30 years. 30 goddamn years. God damn.
Here's a good one.
And I wasn't taking a stab at the Cowboys. Although
the year after Diana Ross, you have some bangers here. Okay. We're about
that
to
would be
okay.
Hold on. That would be 97. I want to say Green Bay, but I think it's Denver. I think it's Green Bay and New England. No,
I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm doing who the halftime show was.
Oh, okay.
The Blues Brothers with Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and Jim Belushi, featuring ZZ Top, James Brown, and Catherine Cryer.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I'm not gonna lie.
The year after,
Did you say John Goodman from Roseanne?
Oh yeah. He was on the Blues Brothers 2000.
Oh,
okay. We got in Super Bowl 32, Boys to Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, Queen Latifah, and they brought back the Grambling State University marching band that they haven't had since, they were original halftime show, so they threw them back in. Super Bowl 33, Gloria Estefan putting it back out there, Stevie Wonder, Big Bad, Voodoo Daddy, Savion Glover.
I don't know. I don't know. Voodoo Daddy. I don't remember. You're probably gonna murder me, but I don't remember Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. So that was 99. So 2000 would be.
I would assume that was the Falcons that year.
No, 99 was the Falcons, I believe, because it was the Dirty Bird. 2000 that was 98. So 99 would be the 2000s. 2000 would be the 99 season. So that was
no 99. If it was in January of 99, it was really the 98 season.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was the Falcons. They did the Dirty Bird.
Yeah, the Falcons, right? Broncos.
Yeah,
they went up against the Broncos.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, because the dude from the Falcons got arrested the night before for buying a prostitute who was an undercover cop.
Oh yeah. So I don't have the games up. I just have the halftime.
Yeah, I don't have. I don't have. I'm trying to guess the game.
Yeah.
But that's,
all right. That's fun too. That's fun too. I did listen. We just decided to do 8. Half an hour, but here we are. Who gives a crap? Let's move into the 99 season, which was held in 2000. The halftime show for Super Bowl 34, we've got Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Tony Braxton. I did not know I thought she was later. Oh, she may have came back. You're right. I did not know Tony Braxton did it in early 2000.
And that was before Christina Aguilera lost her mind.
And I might have to go back and watch that show again.
So that would mean
We go on? How did I not remember that?
Because it was 25 years ago.
Good point.
So now you're in 2001.
2001, right? So the 2000 season, that was the Ravens, because we were just talking about that Ravens defense, right? With Ray Lewis, the murdering machine that he is on the field, allegedly.
Was that NSYNC? It was
NSYNC Aerosmith. Good call.
All right, so it wasn't Boobgate yet.
But they did actually have nope, not Boobgate yet. They did have NSYNC Aerosmith had some guests. They had Britney.
I don't know after that. I want to say I was going to say Run DMC.
No, Mary J. Blige.
And what's his name? The band is it the Band-Aid guy?
Nelly. Nice.
I'm like the Band-Aid guy.
And then I remember this one. This one I remember. Super Bowl 36 was in the Superdome. That was, after the 2011.
U2.
2001. Yes, U2 did their and all the names and everything like that. What was Super Bowl 36? That was
the Patriots' first Super Bowl or second Super Bowl. Maybe
Rams.
Yeah, Rams Patriots.
Bledsoe, right?
No, Brady's first Super Bowl.
Was it Brady's?
Yeah, because they won.
Oh, right. Okay. Year after, Shania Twain, With No Doubt, Sting comes out, says, "What's up?"
So I will say this: the only part of that Super Bowl I watched was the beginning. Was Santana performed because I was still bitter because I was at the vet when they lost to Tampa Bay. I was one of those bitch ass fans who boycotted the Super Bowl because my team got smoked. I ain't gonna lie. I admit when I'm a bitch.
Now we come to the most infamous of all, Super Bowl 38, or as I like to refer to it as Tittygate.
Wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, we got ourselves. This was looking back. This is probably the least. I guess controversial person is Nelly on this entire set list out of everyone. Nelly. Let's go from least controversial to most controversial. Okay. Here we go. Cheryl, have a great night. She's checking out. Have a great one. Go Birds. Thanks for joining us. But this one, here we go. We got Nelly coming in least controversial.
I just looked it up who was in it. Okay. Oh my god.
Are you cool?
Oh my
wow.
Oh my god.
Fresh reaction out of me because I didn't look it up.
Good.
Oh my god.
All right, here we go. No, don't look it up. I got you. I want you to give me my listing. I want you to rank me. So we're gonna go with Nelly, and then we're gonna move into Jessica Simpson. Then we're gonna move into Kid Rock.
Wow.
He's just.
Then we're gonna move into.
It doesn't get better.
Janet Jackson. Then we're gonna go into Justin Timberlake, and we're gonna round it off with a fresh P Diddy.
Oh god.
Oh my god. That is like every red flag. Everybody that needed to be canceled. They ended up
not for Nelly. Canceled.
There's so much baby oil. There's so much baby oil on that stage.
My god. I wonder what that after party was like. So that was Super Bowl 30.
Nobody remembers because they were all roofied.
Super Bowl 39 was an interesting twist. We got Paul McCartney on stage. That was cool. I think he only did a few songs, but
that's the one he did where Kanye came out, or was that Grammys?
That was Grammys. It was Grammys. Okay. Yeah. No special guest came out with McCartney. We have the Rolling Stones for Super Bowl 40. 41. This is probably one of my most favorite shows of all time. And
it's absolutely probably the best, if not top two.
Yeah, Prince in 41.
Playing
in the rain.
We're going to do a little bit cleaner and we'll be okay with no controversy with Prince. Meanwhile, the curtains drop at the end of the show with his guitar between his legs.
It's not his guitar. That was his penis.
Yeah.
Well, Super Bowl 42, they go back to Wholesome with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I mean,
that one was for the old people.
Yeah, it was fun. It was. I like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, but it's a little, it's not exactly football-y, but 2008. The year after, they go with Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. I actually missed that one on purpose. I don't remember this one. Oh my god! Maybe I'll go back and watch this one too. Super Bowl. What's this? Super Bowl 44 was the Who.
Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Oh
Because
yeah.
there was a bet whether the guy was. There was a prop bet that they were talking about whether the guy was going to break his guitar on stage because he did it at all his concerts. There was a huge bet.
Pete Entwistle?
I think so. He did not do it, by the
Wait,
way.
is that when Roger Daltrey had an eye patch on or something?
Yeah.
Oh, I do
Yep.
remember it. Yeah, I do remember that.
And
we have the
he did not break it, and it was bettors were pissed because he did it at every concert after every song. I like one certain song, and he did not. And they were like, "This is bullshit."
we have the Black Eyed Peas, with Usher Slash, and then a bunch of like drill teams, A&M marching teams, things like that. That was I think that was actually okay. I think will.i.am put on a pretty good show, didn't he? Yeah. I think I remember that. That was pretty good. Madonna and 46.
I remember that because they
brought out everybody.
Who was it? Like it was the two dudes and
LMAFO.
Yes.
Every day I'm holding. Yeah. Cirque du Soleil did a show. Nicki Minaj was there. MIA. Oh my God, crazy people! All these crazy people. Madonna knows how to really pull out CeeLo Green, MIA, Nicki Minaj, and LMFAO. That's a wild show.
What year was that?
That
2013,
2012. So was what? That was the
MIA wasn't even huge yet, right? Paper Planes hadn't come out yet.
No, that might have been it.
No, that Every Day I'm Hustling was their
right.
Big hit.
That was huge.
Party.
LMFAO, MIA.
MIA only had one hit, and I think it was off. That was it. Paper Planes.
Yeah.
And she became like a weird and I think she's like into like she was like one of those like, well, Hitler was a good guy if you think about it type people.
I didn't hear that, but okay.
Yeah, I think so, or something like that. The year after was a really good year. Was Beyonce, and she brought out Destiny's Child with that.
You can currently get a Hitler sweatshirt at Kanye.com.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was a commercial for Yeezy.com, and he's like literally just selling a swastika shirt now for $20. I can't.
Paper Planes came out in 2008, so
that was 2012. It was the only hit they had. Trust me.
And then 2013 was Beyonce.
Yep. 2014 was a good one. I remember that. That was Bruno Mars. And
yeah, Bruno Mars performed at a football game. There was, the football game got in the way of a Bruno Mars concert because that was the 40-8 shamacking of the Denver Broncos versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, this was the most boring football game for anyone who didn't care about either team because it was just a pouncing. I think for this one, this was like a lot of people wanted to see Patrick Mahomes fail too. So, but Bruno Mars brought out Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, Flea wasn't available. He was doing Back to the Future 5. What else?
Knuckles. So 2015 was the infamous Katy Perry and the that weird shark thing.
Sure.
Yep. Lenny Kravitz, Missy Elliott came out. The year after was Coldplay with
oh God.
Well, that remember Beyonce came out for that.
They had a song that year, right?
And Bruno Mars came out too.
Well, Beyonce came out to do Bruno Mars. Didn't they do Fix You all together?
Probably.
Yeah, I think they all kind of like did a acapella-ish Fix You type situation. That was cool. They even did I remember that they put like all these other songs in there, like Purple Rain, Beautiful Day. It was like a really cool like mashup song. That I remember that. I've listened to it a couple of times. 2017, and we're talking about what was that? 51.
That was the comeback.
51 was Lady Gaga.
She did it by herself, right?
Yeah, just by herself. People loved it. They said it was really fun.
So then 52 would be the Eagles, and I believe that is Timberlake because I remember him dancing with not dancing with, but he was standing next to Freddie Mitchell. Correct?
That is correct.
And your entire household was singing the song from Trolls, and I was like, "What? I just want a football game to come back on."
Yeah, he stopped. I think he closed out the show with "Can't Stop the Feeling," right?
Yep.
Yeah. Maroon 5, Travis Scott, Big Boy, all the year after. After that, we got into this was Shakira and Jennifer Lopez. This is the first time I ever heard of Bad Bunny. But
He's actually not bad.
That was COVID year, but that was before COVID happened, right?
That was before COVID was COVID.
Right, that was before COVID,
Yeah,
and then
a couple of weeks later, the world shut down.
Yeah, the year after was The Weeknd.
The weird head bandage glass thing going on.
Yeah, but I mean, his set, everything was great. That was a really good. I mean, it wasn't like top 20, but it was still like a really good show. Then we have the Dre, Snoop, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, Kendrick Lamar show. That's when you had 50 Cent come in. Pac was there. Remember, he came in with G Unit and Anderson were there. Rihanna, that was a great show, actually.
Yep.
Usher, that was a really good show, and he had a ton of people come in. Alicia Keys was there. Remember, she hit that really bad note. Dupree, HER, she was awesome.
Yeah.
I love. Well, first of all, if you guys haven't ever heard her, she has a really good.
What? Turn down for what?
Oh yeah, she has a really good
Sorry.
acoustic thing that she did. It's called something Sessions. I'll send it to you guys. It's really good. Lil Jon, Ludacris was there. What?
Oh,
okay. The fact that we did that in sync is crazy.
Okay.
There it is.
What? And now obviously we have Kendrick Lamar. So out of all the ones I really mentioned, so give me JV, give me the one that is your go-to.
I think my favorite show that I watched was probably The Prince. The Prince show.
It's a hell of a show. Yeah. All right.
And
so
for me, it's between Prince and Dre, but I think because Dre was more recently, it's definitely with Snoop Dogg and all that.
I'm gonna go with Prince. Prince was for me just magical every sense of the way. The guy's just talented all the way. Don't get me wrong, I think the second next one is Dre, Eminem, all that. That to me
right
was
there.
just close second. Boys, we're Super Bowl champions.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's
Twice.
wild. Are you guys heading to the parade or not?
I'll find out tomorrow if I'm able to get off work because I started a new job. It sounds like I can. The one guy who, we're basically on the same title. He'll eventually report to me. He said he didn't watch the Super Bowl. He watched The Mandalorian.
So yeah, he has no problem working that day, huh?
Yeah,
supposedly we shut down, so I'll be off. I'll get a nice 4-day weekend out of it.
Nice government job for you. Boys, this is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We said we wanted to, as part of the Northeast Philly podcast, we wanted to really talk about something that this has consumed a lot of our time over the last, 6-7 months. Had a lot of private conversations. Maybe we'll get another one. We are going to have our show next week, regularly scheduled. We're going into cartoons.
And then we switch gears.
Back catchers and pitchers report
on Wednesday.
So we are back into our Hall of Fame club. You can catch that on our channel right here. It'll be on the Philly podcast on Facebook. It'll be on the Council of Dads Productions webpage, YouTube. We're not sponsored by anyone. If you guys like what you're listening to, just hit the like, just hit the thumbs up. Let the metrics do what they do. If you want to leave a comment to kind of just get us some visibility and whatever, algorithm it up. I don't know how it works. I just made that all up, I think. But if you could do that for us, it'll make me feel good and sleep better. And I appreciate you again joining us, your comments and all that stuff. Chris, you got anything to take us out?
Nah, man. Listen, thanks to Cheryl for checking in, and sticking with JV and Joe Arden for checking in. We will be doing our Eagles Super Bowl recap most likely Wednesday night at 9:00. So we will. It's our as we so call it. It's our season finale.
Nice.
Until
We'll be tuning in there. JV, you want to take us out and home?
All right. Thank you guys again, everybody, for joining us. It's been it's still a blast, and the season was fun. And how else do you end it? Go Birds.
Go Birds.